Friends, welcome back. It is my favorite time of year for my Algebra 1 students. We are talking polynomials. This is the best unit. This is like the backbone of algebra. It's my favorite. I cannot wait to walk you through this. So stick with me. If you are in the red Larson book with the kayaker, I make this for local students, but if you're not local, then you may end up with it. If you're in the red Larson book with the kayaker, this is 9.1 and 9.2 in one video. So you're just going to jump ahead if you need 9.2. Let's just jump right into this. All right. Example number 1 from 9.1, we're talking about adding and subtracting polynomials, So in this case, for adding, all we have to do is copy down this first guy, 9p squared minus 6p to the third plus 3 minus 11p plus. Now, there is a 1 here, which we are distributing to all of our chunks after here. It's a positive one, so it doesn't change anything. So essentially, all you're doing is just taking these out of the parentheses. But that becomes important later. So, okay, now I've taken these all out of the parentheses. What I want to do next is put them in order. Standard form is what we call it, with the highest exponent first. So I want to combine like terms. I see that I have a third here. I have a -6. Notice I underlined the operation that came before it. Do that because it's a negative, not a positive. You don't want to make a mistake like that. So I have -6, +7. That means I have 1p to the third. So I'm just going to say p to the third. You can write a 1 in there if you want to. The most satisfying part of this is cross it out when you're done. Bam, get out of there, go away. Next we have p to the second, so p squared. Again, +9p, and then over here we have -3p. So 9 and -3 is going to give me +6p squared. Cross those out because that is super satisfying. Then we have our p to the 1. We only got one of those guys, so you just bring it down, -11p. Notice I underlined that operation in front of it. Cross that out. Now we have +3, +4. That gives me +7. Kablam! That is the answer, and that is to problem 26, by the way, in 9.1. Okay, the second part of this is where it's very similar. You're just combining like terms, except you'll see that there is a negative here. If you see the negative, this is like a red flag. I'm looking for my highlighters because you should highlight this and be like, ooh, my teacher is trying to trick me and I am not going to fall for it. This negative, not falling for it. No. What you're going to do instead is you're going to write this. We're going to say, okay, we're going to bring all this stuff out. So we just say 4d minus 6d to the third plus 3d squared. But remember, there is a 1 here that has to be distributed. Essentially, what that does is change all of our signs. Negative times a positive is a negative, 9d to the third. Negative times a positive is a negative d, just d, sorry. Negative times negative is a +2. So it just changes all those signs. So if you see that negative sign between your two polynomials that you're adding or subtracting, remember that you need to change your signs. Now we're going to do the same thing where we just combine like terms. So we look for our highest exponent first. It looks like it's 3d to the third. So -6d to the third, -9d to the third. That's going to give me -15d to the third. Cancel. I've got +3d squared, and that's it. So I'm just going to say plus 3d squared. Get rid of that guy. I've got -7d and 4d. So that's -3d. Cancel those guys. And then I've got just +2 and kablam. That is how you add and subtract polynomials. All right, now I'm going to move on to 9.2 because this is one of my favorites. 9.2. We are going to be multiplying and dividing. Okay, so I had to sneeze and I don't know how to edit videos, so you're lucky I got to the pause button in time. All right, we've got 3 methods that we can do to multiply. Oh, and divide. I don't know why I said and divide. You're actually not going to be dividing in this unit. We're just multiplying. There's 3 methods that are available here. You can distribute, FOIL, and box. Now, once you figure out which one you like the best, that's great. You can use that. In the meantime, it is my responsibility to show you how to do those correctly for each method so that you know. The first one is distribution, and this comes in handy later on in Algebra 2 when you are factoring by grouping. You may do some factoring by grouping in Algebra 1 as well. So it's good to know this method. You'll see what I've done here is I have 4x minus 3 times x plus 2. Remember, that's a 2 by 2, so it's a binomial by a binomial, right? What you do is you take this first chunk, 4x, bam, we multiply it by all this garbage over here, and then we take the second part, -3, and we multiply it by the same garbage. Now all we have to do is distribute. I get 4x squared plus 28x minus 3x minus 21. All I did was distribute to here and here. and then I distributed with that negative sign, don't forget, to here and to here. Now you'll see that we have some like terms we can combine. We've got 28, positive 28 and negative 3, so that's going to give us positive 25. So we get 4x squared plus 25x minus 21. Kablam, you have used the distribution method to multiply those two binomials. There's also the FOIL method. This is super common. A lot of teachers use this. You'll hear FOIL it, and what that stands for is first, inside, outside, last. So what we're doing here, and those colors are kind of hard to see, so I apologize, but you're taking the first and you're multiplying it. So 3x times x will give us 3x squared. Then we're doing the inside, which is negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x. Then we're doing the outside, which is 3x times 9, so that's plus 27x. Then we do the last, which is negative 2 times positive 9, which is negative 18. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've got to combine our like terms. That was my frog in my throat. All right, combine these guys right here and here. So what we have is 3x squared. What is that? Plus 25x minus 18. That is our final answer. We have multiplied this binomial by binomial. Now, the box method. I like the box method when we're dealing with a binomial by a trinomial or a trinomial by a trinomial, because I get disorganized and lost if I don't keep it in meticulous order. But you can use the distribution method for this as well. So for this guy, we're going to do a 2 by 3, so a binomial by a trinomial, 2 by 3. And what you do is you take the, so because of that, I drew a 2 by 3 box. So over here, I have x and positive 7, that's these two. Then I have 2x squared, 3x and negative 4. Notice I carried my sign with that. I have 3 golden retrievers and there's dog hair all over these. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. So now what we do is we multiply. I don't know if you remember playing Battleship where you had to do like A1 or like F5. That we're doing the same thing. We're taking this times this and we're putting the answer right here. So we're doing 2x to the third, because remember x, this is x to the 1, right? X to the 1, x to the 2. We got 2 x's here, 1 more here. That's 3 x's. And I'm sorry, this is kind of small. I should zoom in. So 3x times x gives me 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. This right here would be 14x squared. 7 times 3 is 21x. And then 7 times negative 4 gives me negative 28. Okay, once we've done this box method, we have to add all the stuff that's on the inside here. So we've got to add all this together, but I see some like terms that we can combine. It looks like we can combine these two guys because they're x squareds and these because they're x's. So again, you always want to start with your highest exponent, which looks like 2x to the third. 2x to the third. And then I have 14x squared and 3x squared. So that's going to give me a total of 17x squared. Then I have 21x and negative 4x, 17. So positive 17x. How to think about that. And then I have minus 28. So there I have just multiplied this binomial by this trinomial. I hope you found this video helpful. I will see you next time.